Second oral question, Lord Young of Cookham.
I beg leave to ask the question standing in my name on the order paper.
The Driver and Vehicle Standards Agency has announced measures to review the driving test booking system. It launched a call for evidence on the 18th of December seeking views on the current rules to book tests. This will lead to consultation on improving processes with potential future legislative changes. On the 6th of January, the same organisation also introduced tougher terms and conditions for driving instructors that driving instructors use to book and manage car driving tests for their pupils.
I'm grateful for that answer, but I think the answer to my question is no, although it was very skillfully camouflaged. my lords, this is a racket. Middlemen are hoovering up slots on the DVSA website and then charging learner drivers a premium to access them. I googled this morning, book your driving test earlier. I got 8 hits on the first page with lots of inducements. You can receive a test a month earlier than you'd usually find on the DVSA website. Get your driving licence faster with early test bookings, and another one, booking a driving test quicker with our booking system. And Trustpilot reveals that some of those are scams with people paying £90 and not getting a test. So my question is this. Last month, the previous Secretary of State said this: we will review and improve the rules around booking tests, including, as he's just said, measures to ban the resale of driving test appointments. Why doesn't the government just get on with it and ban this racket?
I thank the noble lord for his research, and he's right. There are some people making money out of this, and they shouldn't do it. But my answer wasn't just no. One of the considerations in working through what needs to be done is so that we don't inadvertently make it more difficult for legitimate people looking for tests to book them. Now, what I'd say is that less than a quarter of total test bookings in last September, had been swapped from one licence to another, which means that actually swapping only affects a minority of tests. And the real answer is to actually reduce the length of time it takes to get a test. Currently in England, it's nearly 21 weeks. The government has a target to reduce that to 7 weeks by the end of December this year, for which purpose it's recruiting 450 extra driving examiners on top of the 1,456 full-time equivalents there already are, and that will make a very substantial difference with the aim of obviating any activity as he described, and getting people tests when they can take them.
My Lords, given the disparities in driving test availability that the Noble Lord the Minister has just mentioned, will the Minister consider incentivising local authorities to help address these shortages by supporting additional mobile driving test centres in areas with high demand or limited access?
I thank the noble Baroness for her question. The issue with the availability of tests is very substantially with the availability of driving examiners rather than the locations in which they're conducted. So, as I said, the additional, in effect, a 25% increase in the number of, actually it's the 33% increase, I'm sorry, on top of the current number of full-time equivalent driving examiners, is the thing which will make a real difference.
My Lords, the current situation is grossly unsatisfactory for learner drivers. The noble lord asking the question talked about £99. I have knowledge of someone who paid £400 simply to get a local, quick driving test. Many people are suffering because they need that. Can the noble lord the Minister tell us, as well as recruitment, what his department is doing to ensure that industrial relations are better between driving examiners and the department in order to get us back to the situation that we never got back to as it was pre-COVID?
One of the considerations, certainly, with improving the relationship between the driving examiners and the DVSA is to have enough of them to conduct tests on on a basis where people don't feel excluded or significantly delayed. It's not the only action the government is taking. My honourable friend, the Future of Roads Minister, made a statement in the other place on the 18th of December with a 7-point plan, all of which is designed to both help people get tests when they need them and to reduce the amount of time it takes between applying for a test and actually taking one.
May I thank my noble friend who, after a lifetime of bicycling, offers greater advocacy for learner drivers than the government appears interested in doing. Possibly he's looking for a driving test himself at this late stage. My Lords, the last government, in the last 18 months of the last government, the DVSA issued 283 warnings, 746 suspensions, closed 689 alleged businesses, all over this scam. None of this enforcement activity has been mentioned by the noble Lord, the Minister. Has it been dropped? Has DVSA gone slack under a Labour administration while they're focusing on consultations and reworkings of processes?
Well, as a matter of fact, since the new government took office, the totals of statistics that I can quote you are 344 warnings, 791 suspensions, and closed 811 business accounts. So I think that comprehensively demonstrates that there's been no such slackening off, that actually the DVSA is on top of this. But the real answer is to reduce the amount of time it takes to get a test in the first place, so that people don't feel very early in their learning journey that they have to book a test long in advance of it taking place. And the government's aim is to get that down to 7 weeks by recruiting the large quantity of driving examiners I previously referred to.
My Lord, does the Minister recall there was a civil servant who drove all the way, I think it was to Barnard's Castle, to test his eyesight for driving? Could the Minister take time out from his very busy schedule and advise Mr Dominic Cummings he should stick to driving and improving his driving, rather than to try to undermine the elected government of this country in association with Elon Musk?
I've no need to do that. My noble friend has just done it for me.
My Lords, if I could just say, the Minister's just said that 25% of tests appear to go through some of these third-party sites. My noble friend has also said that some of these sites are genuine scams. Why is it that any driving test can be booked anywhere except the official DVSA website? And why can he not just sort that?
Yes, one of my colleagues said sotto voce, same reason as you didn't. Well, which is perhaps not an unreasonable point. What this system has to allow people to book tests at the time that they need them. And I didn't say that 25% had been through one of these websites. I said that a quarter of total test bookings had been swapped from one licence to another. And of course, the reason why you go to a driving instructor who has a number of pupils is that the driving instructors can apply for a test for one pupil and then transfer it to another if the second pupil is making faster progress than the first, and that's how it should be. The number of people going through these agencies is clearly more than zero, and since it is, we should do something about it. But actually we have to do that in a way that doesn't prevent driving instructors from running decent businesses and also allows people to change their bookings when they need to. That's what takes time and care, and that's what the DVSA are working on.
Lord, wouldn't it be possible just to allow driving instructors to book on behalf of someone else and make it illegal for anyone else to do it?
So many, I thank my noble friend for his question, many tests are booked by the applicants themselves, and there can't be any reason why you couldn't be able to do that as a potential holder of a driving licence. Equally, driving instructors have to be able to run a business, and one of the benefits of going to a registered driving instructor is because they do have some flexibility for tests for their pupils.
My Lords, secondary markets almost always develop as a consequence of state failure, and this is no exception. We all know people. I have 2 children who've been affected by this, and the state failure began, the explosion in these websites began with lockdown. Isn't the ultimate answer to get these, and indeed other government employees, to come back to the office?
The one thing that driving examiners can't do is work in an office. And I think that must be self-evident. The real answer to this whole issue is to reduce the amount of time it takes from an application for a test to the test to occur. And if, as we expect, we can reduce that by the recruitment of 450 driving examiners, the first of which are now are about to start doing driving tests, and if we can reduce it from the current 21 weeks in England to 7 weeks by December, we will have obviated the problem.